Hey! I just realized my audio and video might still be dippy. Hang on a second. This is going to take a second to fix. Okay, that's fixed now. Welcome! Welcome back to another Captain Mac live stream, and welcome to my significantly more barren apartment than it once was. Hey Jess, what's going on? As you can see, I actually did some packing. Last time I streamed, I had basically done no packing. I'd thrown a lot of stuff away, but I hadn't done any packing. My hair's being difficult today. I'm sorry. I always fix my hair at the beginning of the stream. I'm doing it especially a lot right now. Thank you for the 7-month resub, Jess. I appreciate that. How very sweet of you. Sorry for the burp. I had to spray it, so I'm a bit burpy right now. But yeah, as you can see, a lot less stuff in here than there were before. I sold that bookshelf. I sold the stand my TV was on. Oh, it looks like Moobot needs to get access to my Twitch again. That's fine. Moobot doesn't really do anything right now. And then that bookshelf is also going to be sold by the end of today. So the only things that are left in my living room are my desk, my console table, and my couch. The couch is what I'm keeping. The desk, I'm getting rid of the desktop, but I'm keeping the drawers on the ends. And the shelf table, I'm keeping if I can fit it in the trailer. If not, it's just going to go in the trash. So, yeah. It's a bit more barren in here, but you know, I told our good friend Microwave, who may not be able to make it to the stream because it's a bit late for her, which would be wildly unfortunate. But I told our friend Microwave that I would do a stream when I packed up my Gundam so I could show all of them off and talk about them. And also, I need to decide between which ones I'm keeping and packing and which ones I'm just throwing away because I don't want to keep all of them. There's so many of them. There's some of them that I don't really care that much about, and the less that we're moving, the better. So this stream is going to be me choosing which ones to keep, packing them away, or throwing them out and talking about them because I've sold both bookshelves now and they're just sitting on my coffee table. And that's not a great place for them. So I say I'm just going to grab one and we'll get started. How does it sound? Just give them all to me. Do you want them, Jared? I don't think you do. I'll grab one that you might want. Here, Jared might like this one. It's a mecha anime girl. This one's pretty good. I like this one. I'm keeping this one, though, so Jared can't have it. But this one's pretty sick. This one was a fun build, and it's very kawaii, as the kids say. So I'm keeping this one. Just going to yank this out of her butt. This is kind of shoved in her ass, but you know how it goes. I have to, oh, shoot. It's fine. I have to take pictures of their poses so I remember how to pose them, but the way I do this is I just kind of fold them up like this. I have one like that. It's pretty cool. They're pretty sick. I like the mecha anime girl. I just fold them up like this or standing like this and put them in some papaya. She has a stand, so that has to go in with it. But, oh, shoot. I have a box down here. I'm going to put, bubble wrap on the bottom of the box just so they don't hit the ground too hard if dropped or whatever. And then I'll pack them up in paper. I don't have enough bubble wrap to bubble wrap all of them. But I've got lots of paper. Lots and lots of paper, so that's going to be fine. Actually, too much paper. This is too much for a single kit, so unless it's like a master grade, I'm going to rip it in half. Do 2 per sheet, because that's kind of a lot of paper. Actually might not have been a great one to put on bottom, to be honest. She has that big, skirt situation that's going to make it a little more difficult to fold her up. No, we're good. See, now she's just a little package. We're going to stick her in there. Boop. I'm not looking forward to moving my figs. I'm getting rid of them, a lot of them. I mean, I guess I don't know how many. As I was moving a lot of them, I was kind of looking at them and being like, I actually like a lot of these, so that's a problem. What do we got next? Okay, we'll choose one I'm going to throw away. Here we go. This is a Death Scythe Gundam. I think that's what it's called. I don't remember all the names, but he's just kind of like a little Grim Reaper. He's got a 6 scythe. This one was a really easy build. I want to say this took me maybe 2 hours to build, and that's because it's an older style kit. And there's a really easy way to tell when that's the case. I'm going to pull off one of his arms here. Newer style kits have articulating elbows that allow them to fold all the way like this, like a human's elbow. Older style kits can only fold 90 degrees because they didn't have that articulation figuration figured out. So it just... It's a very small, older kit, and he has these giant wings that make it a pain in the ass to pose him in against other kits because he just gets in the way of everything else. And same with the legs. They only fold 90 degrees, so fuck it. I'm getting rid of it. Although this guy, I'm going to deconstruct his wings here because if not, they might poke a hole in the bag. So in the trash you go. Good night, friend. I am sad in the sense that it's an older kit and those are a bit harder to find, but it's not a great kit, so fuck it. Oh, hey, another one I want to throw away. I forget what those ones called too. It's from one of the less popular Gundam anime. I don't remember which one it was. I think it was Waltz or something. It's a transforming Gundam, so it turns into like a little plane or something. I don't remember, but he's a pain in the ass to pose, and he's very blocky, and the design isn't that unique, so I'm getting rid of it. Okay, I'm a bit torn on this one. This one is the Gundam Nobel. It's just like a Gundam with Sailor Moon motif going on, which is pretty sick. The problem is her hairpiece back here. It sticks out. It's gigantic. It weighs her down. It's really hard to pose her. It's really hard to get her to stand, and she gets in the way of every other kit. So I don't know if I think there's other versions of this that don't have hair like this. So I don't know if I want to keep this one. Honestly. My favorite is just a fat green one. I have that. Hang on. Gyushan. This guy. This big boy. This one. Yeah, that's a big old boy. He's covered in dust. See how grayed out his top half is? There's a lot of spots for dust to collect. I wouldn't keep this one because honestly I'm not huge on his design. Sorry to say it, Jared. But the only reason I want to keep it is because there's 3 different versions of Gyushan and I have all 3 and I want to keep all 3. So, you know, I'm definitely going to keep this guy and his big hammer. Though I might pose him differently in the future. The pose that I have now is kind of lame. Maybe have a maybe pile. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to find out if there's other Nobel Gundam kits. And if there's ones that don't have hair like this, I'll just get a new one. Because I hate the hair. It's such a pain to pose. Okay, yeah. There are versions that don't have hair like this one. So fuck it. We're getting rid of it. I'll get a new one. Get hecked, idiot. It's what you get for being bad to pose. That's like a big thing for me, you know, if I can't pose them well. Because, like, here's the thing. You know, after I build it, like, I build Gundam because I enjoy building Gundam. I don't really enjoy looking at Gundam, you know? Once they're built and I put them on and I put them on my bookshelf, they don't really see a lot of love. So, if I have a kit that is a pain in the ass to pose, his arm just fell off, and it fell off in, like, the worst way possible. I'd have to, like, deconstruct this whole configuration to fix it. Actually, that shouldn't be too hard. So yeah, anyway, if a model is a pain in the ass to pose, if it doesn't pose well, then that's kind of a big mark in its book for me. God, okay, this is not staying together very well. My friend, you have seen many years of existence. It appears you have not lived too well. What the fuck? How's this not going together? Piece of paper just flew out of my lap. Oh. Okay, I think I got it. Yeah, there we go. Got him. Now the arm's back together. And then we're going to snap that back on there, my boy. Unless it doesn't want to. Because there we go. Damn, you are not staying together well, my friend. Jesus. Okay. All right, in he goes. It's number 2 down. Fuck. I'm not gonna be able to fit a ton of these in this box. I'm gonna have to be really selective here. I've already thrown away more than I packaged, so that's a good sign, I'd say. This one's a Lancier, I think it's what it's called, which is appropriate because it uses a lance. I love the lance. I think it looks really cool, but other than that, I'm not too fond of this kit. You know, it's just not that interesting of a design. The only really cool thing about him is that he carries a lance. Like, that's not a common Gundam weapon, and it's kind of nifty to see. But I do really like this pose. I'll keep him. I hoard so much. I have a box of like 20 that I can't display because of space. Yeah. I feel like it was going to come to this. Like my options were like, with the amount of space I had left on my bookshelf, my options were, you know, buy a new bookshelf or start throwing some away. So I think it was going to come to this at some point anyway. You know, like I said, I build these things for the fun of building them. There's some that like after they're done being built, I'm just not that interested in. So maybe keep them for a while and get rid of them. It's wasteful, but who cares? The world's doomed anyway. Me not wasting isn't going to change that. Anyway, what have you guys been up to? I don't have a lot to talk about this stream other than Gundam stuff, so, you know, you guys have to feel some content. Give me some stuff to talk about. I feel like I say that kind of a lot. It's probably not a good indication of my skills as a streamer. Lots of school. Sounds great. How's that going? What have you been doing in school? I've been just focusing on the move and all, trying to sell my furniture. This is the only orange Gundam that I like. Orange is such a color that I'm not a fan of. This is like the only one that I like. I for some reason I love the design of this guy, so I'm keeping this one for sure. Something about it. If I need to get an actual salary, get a new job, are you unsatisfied with the current amount you're being paid? But so I have a mattress for sale. It's a couple years old and it's a bit stained. You know, it's an old mattress. Why? He is falling the fuck apart. Pieces are just falling left and right. Maybe I'm not keeping this guy. Jesus. Everything that could have fallen off just now basically did. Where did this even come from? This is on the side of his leg. Okay. These pieces are really loose. So I put this mattress up for sale, and it's got a couple stains. You know, it's a bit old. It's not like ancient, but it's a bit old. It's got some stains. People on Facebook were being really mean. I had to turn off commenting on the post. Because people were like, oh, a stained mattress. I would never pay for a stained mattress. And it's like, dude, it's a used mattress. Do you expect it to be in perfect fucking condition? I'm charging basically nothing for it. Why do you even care? But, so because of that, I had to like turn off commenting on that post because I got tired of getting notifications. People being like, slightly yellow mattress. It's like, it's not even that bad. I've seen way worse things posted in the exact same space. An old mattress is gonna have some sweat stains. That's just reality. You know, I'm not getting it professionally cleaned so I can sell it on Facebook. I'm severely underpaid for my position even within my company. Yeah, that's not great. I'm severely underpaid, but that's just because I work in retail. I shouldn't complain. I get paid pretty well for, you know, the fact that I don't have any kind of degree and I don't have a very specialized position. I think I do pretty well for myself given the circumstances. I fucking hate this one. This thing is a pain to build. It's not that interesting looking. The thing can't stand up on its own. Burn! Sag living room, Sag stream. What is Sag? I've never heard that term before. I assume it means the same thing as sad, but yeah, no, everything is gone. It's very barren in here, much like my loins. But anyway, yeah, I fucking hate this one. I thought it was cool looking like the box, but it's an uninteresting design. The thing can't stand on its own. It's a pain in the ass to pose and build. Fuck it, I'm throwing it the hell away. Hate that one. It can suck me off. Very sad stream. It is what it is. You know, we all die someday, and that's happening to me too. All right, I absolutely love the design of this one. It's so fucking cool. This one's appropriate. It's got a very cool name too. It's the Astray No Name. Astray No Name. Hang on, focus up. I just fucking flipped up. Whatever. But it's got this awesome like cloak kind of design. This thing turns into a gun too, if you so choose. It takes like the motifs of the Astray Gundam, which is one of the Gundam that has like the most kits, and remixes it into something really cool. So I'm absolutely keeping this one. I love the colors. You don't see maroon being used a lot. You know, Gundam use a lot of like bright colors. They're not very subtle very often. This one uses maroon, and I love it. It looks great. Sean, what's going on today? Thank you for the resub. Did I even say that? 34 months? Every time you resubscribe, I feel like I get surprised by how many months you've been subscribed. What's going on, Todd? Packing's going pretty well, as you can see by my near empty living room. There's a lot of stuff in here that I'm not actually keeping. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, that's not great. All right, the cloak thing just kind of disconnected, and it's going to be a real pain in the ass to reattach. Sometimes parts, after a while, just kind of... Their grip weakens, and unfortunately these joint parts, when those grips weaken, it means the entire like integrity of the thing kind of falls apart. That's not fantastic. Oh, okay, I just broke it off. I might be buying this anew and rebuilding it. Can I still save this? I don't think I can still save this. Say F for my boy No Name Gundam. I'm not rebuilding this from scratch right now. I'll have to buy a new one because like this whole like joint system came apart, which means I would need to deconstruct kind of this whole thing up here to figure out how to get it back together. Hang on, I might be able to figure it out. Nope, fuck it. He's getting thrown away. I'll buy a new one. It's sad, but it was a fun build, so I don't mind. That's sad. That was the first one in this. That was the first kit I've highly praised today, and I just decided to say fuck it. Well, I didn't decide to. It made me decide to. Why did you make me do this? Bring in the invincible memes. All right. What the fuck is this? One's Tall Geese. I don't remember which Tall Geese it is. I think it's Tall Geese 2 or 3. This is a real great kit. This one's a premium Bandai, which means they're sold exclusively from Bandai for a limited period of time, and I will never get it again. Or maybe this was an early release one. I think it was an early release one, but either way, I really like it, so I'm keeping it. I have another Tall Geese in my collection. It's just Tall Geese is a great design. It's so unique and interesting looking, so I'm keeping them both, honestly. Assuming I don't manage to break it while I'm folding them up here. He's got a lot of moving parts, so I have to be careful. Also, like, his arm is attached to, like, the gun and the shield, so those just kind of have to stick off at the sides awkwardly, but these jets on his back fold up, so those will be a bit easier to put away. You can see they're open right now. They look really cool. I don't super remember how these fold up. This goes up here like this, you know? So it can make room to get in there, so to speak. Yep, there we go. Perfect. You fold up. That's my good boy. I'm sure this is super interesting to watch. I don't know why you guys decided to join the stream, but I appreciate it nonetheless. All right, and then those fold to the side and in, and fantastic. Isn't that great? All right, now I need more paper. This stream's just going to be me getting up and talking a lot. That's the entire stream. Get ready for it. I suppose that's the kind of thing some people like, but I'm just saying this stream is literally me packing. So if you guys want to watch literally anything else, my feelings won't be hurt. In you go. All right, we're gonna make like a base of like 6 high grade Gundam, and then I think we should have space for 4 master grade or 1/100 Gundam on top of that. So that'll work out great. We got one more to fill in a 6 grid spot. Here, this one's an easy choice. I fucking hate this one. It's not that interesting looking, and I never found a pose I liked for it. This pose fucking sucks. I never found a pose I liked for it, so fuck it, we're getting rid of it. I think it had like a big back-mounted thing that made it look a little more complete, but it would also set off its weight, so it was a pain in the ass to pose. Just kind of not a great kit, to be honest. Ooh, almost fell over. Pose him with his arms making a pee-pee. I don't know how that would work. This is the only kit I've painted. This is the only kit I've painted so far. I plan to paint... He just disconnected from his lower half. I plan to paint more, but I haven't. And I absolutely love the color scheme I came up with. All of... Like, everything was repainted except for, like, the inner parts. So, like, everything that's gray, pink, or blue, I painted that. And I think it looks really good. And I'm really happy with how this turned out. So absolutely, I'm keeping this one. It's also like a really cool design Gundam on its own. But, you know, it's a main character Gundam, so its default colors are red, white, blue, and yellow. I'll show you, I have 2 others in this same family, which are slightly different in design. One I'm keeping, one that I'm not. So I'll show you later that they're not super unique looking without cooler colors. I mean, it's unique looking in its design alone. All of the Iron-Blooded Orphans kits used a design that was very different from regular design, but they also used kind of a formulaic design, so they're all somewhat similar in design, which some people don't like, and I understand that. But I for one love Iron-Blooded Orphans kits. I think they're pretty great. I think this mace gets longer, I think. Yeah, it's got like a telescoping handle. It might be able to like short. It doesn't get oh wait, it gets much longer. Okay, it was just stuck. Yeah, my man's got like an erection weapon. It's a trick weapon from Bloodborne, that game that I beat. His weapon's like my axe. It gets longer if you're horny. I don't love the idea of packaging him with his mace just kind of sitting in there because it might scratch the paint, but it is what it is. I did put a coat on it, so it should be fine. All right, so that's a base of 6 high-grade Gundams. Now we'll hit some 1/100 master-grade Gundams. This right here is a beauty. This is the Shin Musha Gundam. It's like a samurai. And he's fucking awesome. I adore this kit. It was so much fun to build. It is excellent in terms of its articulation. And it's just cool as hell. It's just cool as hell. They took samurai armor and combined it with the look of a Gundam. It looks fantastic. I absolutely love this Gundam. I was reading a lot of Kingdom at the time, right? So Kingdom is a manga about the Chinese warring states period. And a lot of the characters in that manga ride horses and use glaives to cut enemies down. So this guy has a spear, a shotgun, a sword, and a glaive. So since I was reading a lot of Kingdom, I absolutely posed him with the glaive. And I love this kit. I love it, love it, love it. So we keep in this one. Excuse me, he's very dusty because he was sitting in a spot that was very easily viewable because I wanted to see the lad. This is also, I'll mention just while I have it in my hands, a lot of, I know it's a Naginata, but it looks a lot like a glaive. What was I about to say? Oh yeah, so most Gundam have like solid hands that are either fist or open, whatever it is. And if it's a fist, the way that you fit a weapon into it is the back of the fist comes off, you put the weapon in, you put it back on. This one's on master grade, so he actually has posable fingers that are just holding the weapon, which is really cool. If he was a perfect grade, all of the fingers would be individually posable, but since he's a master grade, you can see the 3 fingers at the end are attached. The index finger and the thumb are separate. Okay, shotgun just fell off. God, this Gundam is so cool looking. I should take better care of my Gundam, though. I should find a way to dust them without breaking them all. Shoot. I haven't taken pictures of any of the Gundam that I have put away. I want to remember what poses I had them in when I get there, so I know how to pose them again. I should really remember to do that. I'll remember this one, though. Even if I don't, I think I had it in the background of my Nisekoi video, so that should be pretty easy to remember. Because I don't have to remember. It's documented. Fuck! I keep breaking stuff off with my rough fingies, as we'll call them. I don't remember how this was in here. I think it was actually this one. Yeah, the other one, the other spot is for the Naginata. Worst case, you just save this. That could work. That could work. Just watch it in reverse. I'm more of a manual detail person. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that was in response to, which doesn't help. God, why is everything falling apart? Quit it. The blade just fell off. God, it's so fucking dusty. I feel embarrassed. Why is everything so dusty? Okay, there we go. Now that's on the back. Now I have to reattach his sword because that came off too. I love master grades because their swords actually have sheaths. It's just one of those little things that I really like. Also, I forgot. This was one of my first master grades. I actually fucked up this sword pretty good. I don't remember how though, but if you look really close, you can see it's not very shiny. And if the camera focuses on it, it's not very shiny. It's got splotches. I don't remember what I did to do that, to be honest with you. I really have no idea. I think maybe the blade wasn't sitting very well inside the handle, and so I maybe tried to super glue it. Some of the super glue got on the blade, which ruined the finish. And then I think I took nail polish remover and tried to remove that, only to accidentally remove the paint. So that was an oopsie. All right, now how does this attach? All right, I see. So that one's definitely an F because it made the sword look a bit rougher than it could otherwise. But mistakes get made and we learn from them. That's the beauty of Gundam model building. I'm using a full sheet for the master grades because they're obviously much larger. I think I can fit 4 like that. Okay, let's go with one I'm going to throw away. We're going to get rid of this one. I don't remember what it's called. What I do remember about this one is that it's a pain in the ass to pose. His legs are not strong enough for a master grade. That's actually common. I've found. Of all the master grades I've built, there have been several where the legs are not, like, strong enough. The joints aren't, like, what's what I'm looking for? They bend too easy, so they can't support the weight of the Gundam. So if you can see back here, this is part of his, like, gun mechanic, right? I have it on his back, which is, like, lore accurate, right? Like they fold onto his back while I'm having him use the other one. So it looks natural, but this is actually being used like a tripod leg to ensure that he stays standing. So this thing's a piece of shit. It's not that interesting of a design, and that happens. I think this chest piece comes out so you can see like a little, yeah, it does. So you can see where the pilot is. You can barely see him in there though. I don't know if you'll be able to see him on the camera. See that little, yeah, you can see him. That little white piece in there is a pilot. But I'm getting rid of this. Bye. Do you want to watch Hot Fuzz in like 2 hours? Sure. That sounds good. I have not seen that movie, and after us having watched Baby Driver, I'm a bit more interested in Edgar Wright's work. I forgot to disconnect this action stand from Shinmusha. I need a tissue for all this dust. Hopefully it won't take me too long to package most of these. I don't think it will. I'll just throw away whatever I can't package. I shouldn't do that, but I'm just gonna kind of toss the action stands in the box and hope that I remember who it belongs to. All right, now we'll do a little trade-off here. We'll show like one master grade I'm gonna keep, one master grade I'm gonna toss, another master grade I'm gonna keep. Let's show what I'm gonna keep. All right. This one is like the Shinmusha Gundam. This one's called the Sengoku Astray. This is my favorite kit I have ever built. This thing is so fucking cool. Holy shit. I absolutely adore this kit. Oh, it's so cool. You see the mask on there? And then like we have, this is a shield on his back that I should probably use, but it's just so fucking cool. He's so cool. I absolutely adore this kit. It's just, And this thing is solid as hell, you know? He stands on his own, no problem. His feet are like super articulatable, so you can pose him in a bunch of different ways. This is just, if you're ever interested in building a master grade Gundam, get yourself a Sengoku Astray. This is like the best master grade I've built, but just the best kit I've ever built. I love this thing so much. We're keeping it. I'm in Flint, but I'll text you when I'm back in town. Okay, sounds good. God. So it is a variant on the. It's again a lot like the Astray No Name. It's a variant on the Astray. It's a Sengoku Astray, but just so cool. Bigger Astrays all have 2 swords, and fun fact: each sword has its own name. There is Gerbera Strait and Tiger Pierce. And there's no way to tell them apart. They look exactly the same. But if there's an Astray that has 2 swords, those are the names of the swords: Gerbera Strait and Tiger Pierce. The perfect grade that I've gotten very far into but never finished is an Astray. So it also has Gerbera Strait and Tiger Pierce. I love this kit so much. It's just so solid. Like I've had a lot of problems with master grades, to be honest with you. There are a lot of master grades that have not, like, they're either they have bad articulation, they don't stand their own weight. You know, there's been a lot of issues with master grades, and I think it just comes with the territory of it being larger, right? But not this one. No problems with this one. The thing with Gundam is, like, you know, the bigger they get, the heavier they are. So when it comes to master grades and perfect grades, generally speaking, there has to be some kind of, you know, system put in place to ensure that the joints are more solid. With the perfect grade that I'm building, which a perfect grade is about yay big. It's humongous. The joints are actually made of metal. They're die cast metal to ensure that it can stand its own weight. Rest of the kit is made out of metal, or made out of plastic like normal, but the joints are metal. All right, another one we're gonna throw away. All right, this one's called Grimgerd, I believe. Grimgerd. A lot of them are based on like German names, so I don't know what the pronunciation is, Japanese or German. But I like the design of this one. I do, but I've never found a way to pose it that I like. And that's kind of a big deal to me, because if I can't find like a cool pose, then I don't really know what to do with it. So I'm going to get rid of this one too. I love the helmet design. It's such a unique helmet design. But fuck it. Get off of this dang action stand, my dude. My mom asked me if I was going to donate any of my Gundam. And I was like, why would I donate them? She was like, well, poor kids can't afford toys as much. And I was like, you know, I had to pull the nerd, like, it's not a toy. But like legitimately, like, these aren't toys. If you try to like play with them, they will break. They can't be played with. They're not meant to be played with. So I was trying to explain to my mom, like, I can't donate them. They're models. No one's going to want them. But she didn't understand. I think she thought like Goodwill. Like, you can donate toys to Goodwill, I think. But they're not toys. So I can't really donate them. No one's going to want those. If I were like a famous YouTube man, I might like auction off the ones I'm not keeping. Give them to charity or give the money to charity or something like that. Like sign the kit or something. I love this kit. The color scheme is just perfect. This blue color, it's like a striking blue color. It is also inaccurate. Technically speaking, the color of the kit of the Gundam itself in the anime, the blue color is brighter than this. It's not this like deep, but I don't care that it's inaccurate. I love this blue color. It's gorgeous. So I'm a huge fan of this kit. This one's called Vidar, I believe. Keeping it. This is in Japan where you might actually be able to do that. Yeah, I can imagine a little Japanese boy seeing my expertly built Gundam and maybe wanting them, but at the same time, for me at least, the fun of a Gundam is in building it. So I don't know why anyone would buy a built Gundam. The only reason I can see someone buying a built Gundam if it was like some influencer who was trying to convince people that he built them, but obviously he didn't. It's funny how stupid shit like that happens. Like I've seen like big YouTubers. There was some like Brazilian YouTuber, I don't know his name, years ago, who faked a Super Mario Bros. Speedrun where he literally just kind of sat and filmed himself, basically pretending to play a pre-recorded video. And yeah, he got called out for that because it was really obvious that this guy who had never uploaded speedrun footage in his life suddenly got like a close to world record. That was already sus, but then they watched it and they were like, yeah, he's not actually playing that. One of my favorite Gundam memes, it's from Gundam Build. No, fuck, not Build Divers. That's the new one that's shitty. Gundam, it's Build something. It's one of those. There's this great meme where this guy like goes to a cafe and has the waitress take a built Gundam to a girl and give it to her as like a flirting tactic, and she loves it. And that's just hilarious. I wish I could like, it's like an animalistic mating tactic. Like just give them a pre-built Gundam or give them a built Gundam to like show how your worthiness as a craftsman, and they can select their desired mate based on how well you built your Gundam. That'd be fucking hilarious. Cause like in the Ainu culture, a little Japanese history for you. In the Ainu culture, Ainu men would carve knives for themselves, for their wives, for their children, and women would select their husbando based on how well they can carve a knife. So it'd be like that, you know. How well can you want to marry me? How well can you build a dang astray, boy? I have one more master grade I'm gonna throw out. I think. Is it just one more? Is that all my master grades? I'm throwing out half of and keeping half of my master grades. Honestly, I don't have anything against this one. I just don't love the design. It's just not that interesting. There's nothing that great about it. I don't care that much about this one. I don't have any real attachment to it, so I'm getting rid of it. Also, his arm's about to fall off, so that's a point against him. Yeah, it just fell off. I actually just remembered that, yeah, his arm barely stays attached. So there you go. There's a problem I can complain about. All right, one more I'm keeping. This one is called Gundam Bael. And I really like this thing. It's very cool in design. I don't know what it is about it, to be honest. I couldn't name anything particular about it. I just really like it. One of his sword belt just kind of fell off. So now he's not really holding anything. But I had him in a pose where he's about to draw. And I don't know. I just like the design of this guy. He's cool looking. So we're keeping that one too. I think like you don't see a lot of Gundam that use like monocolor color schemes that much. And, you know, he does have blue and gold in here, but he's like mostly white and it looks really good. So I think I like him for that. Maybe that's why I like that orange one I showed earlier too. You know, it's a monocolor orange and yet still manages to look good. Okay, you do see a good number of monocolor Gundam, but they're all like colorful colors. Like I have a lot of like just strictly red Gundam in there. All right, and how does this reattach? Okay, I see. Basically his entire ass fell off here. My boy's butt cheeks fell off. Give an F in the chat. One day, there are people who build Gundam without instructions, which is insane to me. But at the same time, I know enough about Gundam at this point that it's entirely possible I could do such a thing. So one day I'm gonna have to try building. I'm gonna have to try like just throwing out the manual and seeing if I can figure it out, like a puzzle. Be really interesting to see if I could do it. I don't think I could. But it'd be interesting to see. I don't know. There's an open side to this thing, and I don't know which one was on which one was on which side. I think it's this way. All right, my friend. Let's pack you up. All right, in the box. Okay, so that's 4 master grade, and that's actually all the master grade I'm keeping. I tossed all the rest, so that works out perfectly. And now I'll start on some more high grades. I don't remember the name of this one. This was the first one I ever built on stream, and it was not a great stream because I was testing out how to do it. But this was the first one I ever built on stream. He's got an interesting design. It's kind of cutesy, but I'm really not that into this one, so I'm going to toss him. I think there's a little green version of him. Yeah, inside the head. That's kind of cute. I kind of like this little boy. Come on, focus up. Focus up. There we go. Yeah, what a little guy in there. Too bad he's going to die with his papa. Or maybe he's the pilot. I don't know. Well, you know, we'll mix it up. After showing off all my big master grades, we'll show off all my little guys. This is an SD Gundam. SD are basically just miniaturized versions of Gundam. So this is the set. This is just the regular red frame Astray, but as an SD. So he's got a big head. It's like a chibi Gundam. Is how I would describe SD Gundam. I don't remember what SD stands for, but I'm not that into that. I didn't really like building it. Like I bought an SD Gundam just to be like, oh, I've never built a Gundam. I've never built an SD Gundam before. What's it like? But I'm not that into them. It was really easy. It was really quick, which is obviously the intention, but like, you know, it's just kind of like a lesser version of the regular one. And it's got this awkward quirk where like, okay, so here's his leg. And if you turn it around, there's just nothing there. It's just not covered. And I think it looks really bad. So I'm going to get rid of this guy. All right, we're going to do kind of a double showing here. All right, we're going to do a double showing of one that I'm keeping and one that I'm tossing. that are similar in design. So this one here, if I remember correctly, I don't remember correctly. I don't remember what this one's called, but this is one of my favorite kits. One of my absolute favorites. I adore this kit. I think it looks so fucking good. I don't know what it is about this guy. I think it's like just how simple it is in its color design. You know, the only real color on it is like this green on his chest and these little tan pieces. And he just looks so tasteful and so good. Let me turn on the ISO so you can get a better look at this. I don't know if that gives a better image of it. Come on, if it'll focus, that would help. But I don't know. I just love the design of this guy. I really do. And then this is a different version from a different anime. One of the Build Divers, I believe, or something like that, where they kind of remix old designs. It's called the Reverse Gundam, and I hate it. I don't really like it at all. It's the same design. You can see, you can look at the face, you can look at the parts. It's a similar design, but they took the tan parts and made them way more like, I don't know, interruptive is how I would put it. I don't love the red. So the reason it's called the Reverse Gundam is because there's an entire other Gundam back here. You can see a head in there. But I don't know, like, they ruined what was special about the first version, I feel like. So I've never been a fan of this one, but I absolutely adore the first one. So we're tossing this one, keeping the first one. This guy was one of the first Gundam that I built, and it like cemented my love for building them because I thought he was so cool. It's like, to this day, managed to be one of my favorite Gundam. I think I might honestly like buy and rebuild this guy because now I do like panel lining, and panel lining would look fantastic on this guy, I think. But I'm not the kind of person who's like gonna like go back to an old model that I built and do panel lining on it now. I kind of like to think, you know, the way that I built it at the time that I built it is indicative of my skill, and I'm not gonna go back and change anything about it. But if I were to like buy this and rebuild it, I would absolutely panel line it because I think it would look really good. All right, in you go. If anyone is just joining us for this live stream, as you can see by the background, I am moving out of my apartment. I am moving from Michigan to Oregon, and I have a lot of collectible Gundam that I've built over the years, and someone asked me to show all of them off in a live stream. Unfortunately, they don't seem to be able to make it to this live stream, but I told them that when I move, I would show them off as I packed them. So this is a stream of me literally packing those up and talking about them. I really like the design of this guy. I didn't pose him great. I want to like redo the posing, but I love the design of this guy. I think this is called the Stargazer Gundam, if I remember correctly, or Shooting Star Gundam, something like that. It just looks really cool. It looks like he's going Super Saiyan, and I'm a sucker for that kind of thing. I like it. It's a good looking Gundam, so I'm keeping this one for sure. I don't super know how I'm gonna like fold this up in a way that it like all the I don't know what to do with about all these green pieces sticking out, to be honest, but we'll figure it out. They can all like line up like that, like Saturn's rings. And I think this big circle here can like rotate to facing down. No, it cannot because it's attached in two different spots. So, okay. I think my best bet is to detach the green rings. But I have to be careful because these things are really, really difficult to like put together in the first place. I don't remember why, but they were. And they don't seem to come apart as... Oh, I know why these don't come apart as easily. I thought as well as why they were so difficult to build. Ugh, I don't want to detach these if I can avoid it. I could probably pack it up just like this, right? That wouldn't be too bad. It just has to be a very bulky package. What is a Gundam? A Gundam is a model kit from Japan based on the... Well, actually, technically the model kits are called Gunpla, but you don't have to know that. Just call it Gundam. Gundam is an anime series from the land of Japan involving people in mechas fighting each other. And Gundam kits our plastic kits where you build those Gundams. So this was all a bunch of individual pieces on runners before it turned into this, and then I built it from scratch. And it is my hobby to build them. Okay, this is definitely not... I have to detach the green rings. Okay, there's one. I can slide the other one. I can slide them off this... No, I can't slide them off that part of the green pole. Oh, man, these things do not come off easily. I'm just going to have to hope I remember how to rebuild this when the time comes. How are you today, Daisy Cake? Just wrapping a newspaper first? Yeah, well, I'm definitely wrapping it up, but like it's so wide and bulky that it's not going to fit into the box as easily as the rest. So I think I'm gonna detach all these green rings. Try to flip this. I don't know what to do about this. Okay, we're gonna do it like this. I detached all the green rings, so we're just gonna stick them in there like this. Okay, yeah, that works fine. It's a bit bulky, but it works. It doesn't look great, but it'll be fine. They don't need to be that well protected. Like, you know, like I said, they'll break if you play with them. They aren't toys. As goofy as it sounds. I promise I'm not just being like prideful, like, no, Mom, they aren't toys, they're collectibles. Just literally like they'll break. They will. They break from me moving them to pack them up sometimes. But you know, they don't have to be that well protected. I'm doing well. Well, you know, I'm stressed out about moving because it's a process and I'm moving very far and I got a lot to do still in a short amount of time, but I'm doing very well. I'm very excited about it and I'm very excited to have a few days off before my move here in a bit. So yeah, I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. All right. I'm kind of torn on this one. I like the color scheme, but I'm not that into the design. I never really found a good way to pose it. Like I posed it so that this thing on his arm is like a gun that he's shooting, but that's not what it actually is. You can see on this arm, it's on the inside of his hand, which is where it's supposed to be. It's just kind of supposed to be part of the design, but I like blacked out the inside and made it look like a gun. I'm just not that into it. I think I'll toss this one. Is that a cat tree back there? It sure is. My cat is in my room right now. She's totally probably asleep, but if she comes by, I'll make sure to hold her up to the camera. She's very cute. All right, so this is the other tall geese that I was talking about. So we packed one of these up earlier. This was one of the first real grades that I built. It was also... No, I did not panel line this one. Never mind. But I really like the design of this one. It's just very cool. It's got like a Spartan kind of feel to it. Like a Roman Spartan kind of vibe. And I think it's really cool. I love the design of this one because its legs are just so unique. You know, you don't see legs like these in Gundam. I don't know what it is about them. It's a great design. It's a really cool Gundam. It's from a really unpopular Gundam anime, though. I think it's from Gundam Wings? Endless Waltz. That's it. It's from Gundam Endless Waltz, not Wings. That's a popular one. Which is pretty well known as being kind of terrible. Just kind of an F on that one, but... Oh, shoot. These things are a pain to fold back in. And it's also, again, it's got these really cool jets on the back that just look kind of nifty. But they can fold up nice and tight. Why is this... What just fell off? Oh, fuck. Part of his hand just fell off. Oh, that's not great. That's not a great piece to have come off. I'm not going to give up on this one the way I gave up on the No Name, though. I definitely want to keep this guy. Just got to find a way to reattach his hand. All right. Fuck, something else just fell off when I reattached the hand. Wait, it was the exact same piece. I reattached it and it immediately fell back off without me even having like time to register what the fuck just happened. Oh my god. And now there's hair stuck to it because it landed on the ground. And I have a cat, so there's cat hair everywhere. Stay there. Don't do that. His head also fell off, by the way, but that's less of a big deal. You want to get a good look at this motherfucker? Look at that handsome motherfucker. That blue slit, and there's a sticker. The eye stickers are always the hardest ones to put on when it comes to Gundam building. The sticker is so small that it doesn't like stick well, and it has to curve around a piece that generally speaking isn't flat, so it's always hard to attach that sticker. I've had to super glue them. Like, sometimes they just don't stay on. Got an email. Is it spam? No, it's not spam. It is something I need to cancel, though. This one's goofy looking. This one is a bear guy, specifically a papa guy. Super glued to the rescue. It helps a lot in these situations. He's just kind of like a dapper bear gent. Kind of handsome. So there's a bunch of bear guys from, I think it's Gundam Builders. There's a bunch of different versions, but the papa guy is my favorite because he's got this little like tuxedo motif, which is very cute. But there's like a million different colors of these things. They also have they have these extendo arms, and I didn't give him the extendo arm on the other side, so he just has these awkward like one really long arm. But he's cute, right? He's handsome. But he's from like a family line. There's like a mama guy and like a baby guy. I don't know what that one's called, but I know the mama guy is the right name. But yeah, there's a bear guy in every color, and there's just a bunch of them. The mustache is great. I love the mustache and the top hat and like the bow tie. It's just funny looking. I love him. In you go, my friend. All right, let's talk about Wing Gundam. I like the design of this thing. It's, you know, for the fact that it's simple, it's kind of good looking, but like, I don't know, it's just so generic. It's just so generic Gundam looking, and like, I have this problem. There's this yellow piece on the outside of his chest. It always falls off. I wonder if I can just knock it off right here. If I just tap hard enough. Maybe not, but it always, like, if I can just push it off. It always falls off. It always falls off. I'm tired of it. This thing, like, the wings take up so much space, so I'm getting rid of it. People always want to touch my hair, Daisy Cake. People always, every first date I've been on, I mean literally every single one, every first date I've ever been on, the girl has asked me if they can touch my hair. Literally every single time. It's not that exciting. It just feels like hair. I don't know, I guess my hair is very soft, at least. My hair is extremely soft because I take good care of it. So maybe there's something to look forward to. I don't know. I don't know what it's like to have normal hair, so I don't know what it's like to be excited about touching my hair. You know what I mean? Okay, so I showed you earlier that Gundam that I painted. This is its original color scheme in a different variant. So this is the Barbados Gundam from Untitled Orphans. I love the design of this guy, again, because he's got a very unique design, but his color scheme is very generic. And I have 3 different versions of this kit. One of them is the first one I ever built. The other one is the one I showed you that is painted, and this one's just kind of a random other one. So I'm not that attached to this one. And also, his sword broke at some point. I had to super glue it back together, so I'm going to get rid of it. The thing I really like about Iron-Blooded Orphans Gundam is that a lot of them have physical melee weapons that they swing both in the anime and in their kits. And I think that's really awesome, you know? Like, common things to see in Gundam kits and in Gundam anime are Gundam with guns and Gundam with, like, laser beam swords. And then like half of the Gundam anime they shoot to fight. And like that's not what I'm fucking interested in. Give a fucking Gundam a samurai sword and let them go melee each other to death in Tokyo. That's what I want to see. So I like the Iron Blooded Orphans kits because they take a really unique approach by having actual physical melee weapons and they beat the shit out of each other in the anime. It's awesome. I'm obsessed with touching my boyfriend's hair. Maybe that's just a girl thing. Maybe. I don't know. I wouldn't know. I've never had a boyfriend. I've never been a girl either. All right. Golden boy over here. Let's talk about him. Big old golden boy right here. He's gold and sparkly and shiny. There are a few of these Gundam gold kits. It's just a regular Gundam, but they gave it a gold look instead. I'm honestly not that into this kit. To be completely honest with you, it's a pain in the ass to pose, and it's not that cool looking. But I don't have any other golden Gundam, so I'm gonna keep it because I kind of like the gold. My ex was obsessed with my hair, so it's both genders. I dated one girl whose hair was really nice to play with, and it was just because she had like really thick hair. I think that's it. I'm keeping the gold. I like the gold. I think I gotta get another golden kit at some point though, because like I said, there's a few of these, and this one isn't the most unique of them. And because of this big fucking backpack he has, he's a pain in the ass to pose because his center of balance is all off. But I do like him, so I'll keep him. Even better, mini fireballs. They must fight with fireballs, but that would still be like they'd be launching at each other from afar. I want to see those motherfuckers take a Viking axe, take a giant Viking axe the size of a skyscraper and try to chop each other to death. If I was a scientist building a giant mech, the last thing I would give him is a gun. I'm like, you have the ultimate reach here. I'm giving you the fucking washing pole from Dark Souls, okay? The washing pole is a katana that is like 20 feet long, okay? You blow that up to Gundam size. We're talking about a katana that is like the size of 2 Empire State Buildings stacked on top of each other. Then I say, okay, go fucking blow up a colony, buddy. Have fun. Must fight with forks then? Like, as long as it's a giant fork, I'm okay with it. That'd be sick. There was this manga that was being released in Jump until a few weeks ago. It got canceled because it sucked. Called Candy Flurry. So the whole thing of Candy Flurry was like, people had the powers of candy, all right? Everybody, or not everybody, but certain people had special, unique superpowers where they could spawn a certain kind of candy and use it as a weapon. So the main character could like create lollipops from nothing and just fight with them. She can make them gigantic, whatever. And the police force that was created to combat the bad villain version, the bad people who would use those powers, used giant forks, spoons, and knives as weapons. And I thought it was really, really goofy. Because, like, I get it. They're fighting foods. They're using forks, spoons, and knives. But you don't eat candy with utensils. So why would they fight against candy users with utensils? It just seemed goofy to me. I didn't get it. You mean a trident? A trident would be pretty sick, too. All right. Now let's talk about Gyushan Rebake. So, Jared, remember that big, thick boy we were talking about earlier? This is his second version, which looks nothing like the original. How these two are connected, I couldn't tell you. But in the anime, Gyushan becomes Gyushan Rebake, and he looks like this now, and he has 4 arms. I really like this kit because the 4 arms are cool, and I like the color design. I love the colors. It's very, like, you don't see brown as, like, a color scheme very often. It just kind of, or, like, tan, I guess I would call it. But it looks really cool, so. Keeping this guy for sure. This was like my favorite design from Mind Blood Orphans. I love the Gyushan line. I want his chunk back. I don't know how he became like this. I don't know how they saw like Gyushan and they were like, yeah, it makes logical sense for him to become tiny next. I can't imagine why that one got canceled. It sucked, honestly. I read, like, I've mentioned it before, I like to read every manga that gets released in Jump, whether it's good or bad. And there are a lot that really deserve to get canceled. There's one, it's called Undead Unluck. I think they're on like chapter 60 or 70. I read it when it first came out, and I stopped reading after 10 chapters because even for me, it was too fucking bad. It was terrible. I don't know how it's still getting published. All right, since we're talking about Gyushan, I'll grab the other Gyushan. This one is called Gyushan Rebake Full City. Gyushan Rebake Full City has a slightly darker color, slightly blockier shapes, and for some reason, his main weapon became a giant pair of scissors. This motherfucker whips out a pair of scissors on the battlefield and cuts other Gundam in half. Absolutely, that's what I want to see in Gundam. Give more Gundam giant fucking school supplies to fight with. Give one a giant ruler. I love it. It's like a vice grip that he just snaps his enemies in half with. It's hilarious. Really hard to pose with though, because the scissors are really heavy. This motherfucker's dusty. Placeholder. I suppose the creators had an idea and money, so decided to keep publishing them. I don't know. It doesn't need to be a placeholder. Jump is the most sought after magazine ever for manga authors. It's not like they couldn't find someone else to I mean, there's been while Undead Unluck has been running, other really good manga that I thought had a lot of potential have gotten cut. I talked before about Phantom Seer. Phantom Seer was to me a really solid manga that only lasts 30 chapters. Got published at the same time as Undead Unluck. I find it hard to believe that Undead Unluck was getting more readers than Phantom Seer, yet Phantom Seer got canceled while Undead Unluck is still going now. A giant glue stick. I love it. Bleach might not get published in weekly though. I would be surprised because a lot of when manga authors come back, they don't generally go back to they don't generally go back to weekly. I imagine he'll get put on the bi-weekly digital Jump, which has a lot of good stuff on it. So that's not a downgrade by any means. Oh my goodness! Daisy Cake, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome aboard. I appreciate it. Sorry, I'm looking at Facebook right now. I'm trying to sell furniture. I've got my dining table and all of its chairs listed for $250. It was worth, let me see, 70. Is that it? Is that right? No, 65. So let's see. 65 times 4. My numpad went off. 65 times 4. Plus 200. So I spent $460 on it originally. This guy just offered me $75. I'm selling it for $250. That's not unreasonable considering how much I spent on it originally. So I'm probably not going to take that offer. And he tried to say that because it's used IKEA furniture, it shouldn't cost that much. But it's okay, it's IKEA furniture that you don't have to build that is in fantastic condition. So that's not an excuse. I get it. IKEA furniture is cheap, but the reason it's so cheap is because it's made of subpar materials and because you have to build it yourself. I've taken care of building it myself, and it's practically brand new. So the fact that you're getting such a discounted price on it at all is decent. I'm not giving it to you for $75. I've managed to sell a lot of stuff on Facebook, which has been great. But like, there's some things like I'm surprised. I'm surprised more people aren't jumping on this table that I'm talking about because it's like I said, it's in fantastic condition and it's a really nice table. I think people like it's a bar height table, so people probably just aren't looking for a table that tall. But like I've sold most of my furniture through Facebook. Some of it sold through Craigslist, but most of it sold through Facebook. What up, Scorpion? How you doing? Just paint anyway. Fuck it. Sleep is for the weak. I forget what this Gundam is called. It's from one of the more recent Gundam where they remixed a lot of Gundam designs. So I'm pretty sure they stole the color scheme from Gyushan, but that's all they took. The rest of it looks nothing like it. I do like this design though, but I'm also not that into it. And I need to throw away some more, I think. So I'm going to get rid of this one. What should I paint, though? Paint my dining table. Paint what you think it looks like. I don't know. I'm a terrible person to ask that kind of thing because I never have ideas. I woke up 4 hours after my alarm. Cringe. I woke up a bit late today. The colors are great, but it's just not that interesting otherwise. How's it going here? Oh, I should mention, too. He also... Okay, that's something they took from the original design that it remixed off of. They took the original scissors. I forgot this hammer of his is also a pair of scissors. Although it's more like a crusher vise than it is a pair of scissors, so... Going pretty well here. I've managed to bust through these much quicker than I thought. I don't have that many left to do. And I've thrown away a good number, so I shouldn't need... I'm like 75% full on this one box. Hopefully, I won't need more than I won't. I won't need more than 2 boxes, and that was less than I was expecting, to be honest. So. Okay, so here's another Barbados. This is the last Barbados I have. I had 3, and I'm keeping this one for no other reason than because it's the first Gundam I ever built. So. That's the entire motivation. I do kind of like it, though. It's a good-looking kit. But I'm mostly just keeping it because it's the first one I ever built. And I like it for that. I woke up a bit late today as well. And I had someone coming to look at a bookcase. Or a bookshelf. And, which they'd end up buying, spoiler alert. But, I was definitely not ready for them to be here when they got here, and I had to be like, wait outside a second while I brushed my hair, put it into a top knot, and then put pants on. I was still like lying in bed, which was no good. Grab another one. So you deciding what you keep and what you throw out? Exactly. Yeah, I'm packing what I'm keeping and throwing out what I'm throwing out. I absolutely adore this one. Fuck. It just broke in half. It just fell off its stand and broke in half while I was trying to talk about how much I love it. Fucking, are you kidding me? Hang on, let me try to rebuild this real quick, and then I'll show it off. Fucking, what the hell? Why did that happen? Okay, so that one goes there. I see that. Shit. Jesus, that like scared me. I scared myself with that. I think I see how this all goes. And that should be just pressed onto here. The timing was really good. I got to clip that later because that was funny, but very alarming. Okay, you're not gonna be able to see its original pose because it just isn't in the same pose anymore. But I picked it up from a bad spot. That was kind of on me. I knew it would do that. I knew that kind of thing could happen. But I don't remember, I love the design of this one. I don't remember what it's called, but this thing is just so cool looking. I don't know what it is. Like it's got the very basic color scheme, but it looks great. And I'm not alone either. There are a bunch of memes in the Gundam community about how Bandai will not make a master grade version of this kit for some reason. Like, it looks great. People love it, but they won't make a master grade of it. There are only high grade versions, which is super disappointing. But anyway, I'm definitely keeping this one because I love it. Love it so much, I dropped it and smashed it into a bunch of pieces. And that's why you can't play with Gundam, kids, because they will fall apart very easily. Think about that, man. You know what I did with my fucking Bionicles when I was a kid? I threw them at the wall. You know, that's how I played with my Bionicle. I would ram them into each other like they were fighting, and then I would throw them at the wall to simulate the effect of it flying across the room, right? So, you know, you do that to a Gundam, it's not coming back from a single wall throw, my dude. It's just not. You know, pieces will snap. It will never recover. Remember, correct that I can fold. Yeah, I can turn these in so they don't poke out of the paper. Man, I'm sleepier than I thought. I'm about to fall asleep over here, guys. Whoop-a. In you go, friend. I accidentally used a full sheet of paper instead of only half, but it's fine. I'm not going to unfold it now. I'm too lazy. All right. Can't say I relate. I don't think I ever threw anything at the wall. Really? My brothers and I were violent with our toys. We would throw shit at the wall all the time. We would take our Gundams and, okay, so we had a foyer in my house, and there was a set of stairs and then a balcony that overlooked the foyer, and we would throw our Gundam off, or not Gundam, we'd throw our Bionicles off of the balcony and onto the floor, and they'd smash into a bunch of pieces, obviously. I don't remember why we did it, but we did. And then my brothers and I, we all had Nerf swords. You remember those like foam Nerf swords? And we would fight with them. Those motherfuckers were so torn up because we did not hold back. If one of us got hit by the Nerf sword, it fucking hurt. It was life or death. We were not holding back. We were very violent children. All right, this guy. I don't remember what this one's called. I think it's called Ogre, something Ogre. It's got a unique design, but I've just never been that fond of it. It was fun to build, but I'm just not that fond of it. So I think I'll toss this guy. What managed to survive your fury, Todd? This guy is a Zaku flight model, so he has these big fucking legs that are supposed to be like jet boosters. This thing kind of sucks. It has this gun arm that I pose it like this, but it always slowly falls down because the joint just can't support the weight of the gun. And it's not that unique of a design. Zaku's, I like Zaku's because they have a unique design, but they all have the same design. So if you have one Zaku, you kind of have every Zaku. I don't have any other Zaku's built, but I have a master grade Zaku that I'm currently building that looks way cooler than this thing, so I'm tossing it. Cell phones are tough these days, man. I remember I broke screens on my cell phones when I was a kid, but like this thing, I can't tell you how many times I've dropped this thing violently and it has survived. All right, now this thing's fucking awesome. This is a Crossbone Gundam. Mao? Something with an M. The Crossbone Gundam is obviously kind of piratey. So he has a fucking flintlock pistol and a Sans skull on his chest. All right? It doesn't get much cooler than that. I absolutely adore the Crossbone design, and this is one of my favorite versions of it because it has this giant skull on the front. So I'm keeping this lad for sure. There's a lot of Crossbone Gundam, but Crossbone has never actually been featured in an anime. Fun fact. It's like a well-loved Gundam, but Crossbone is from like comics and light novels of Gundam. There's never been an anime that features Crossbone. Which is strange, because people love Crossbone. You'd think they would have done it just out of like fan service at this point, but they haven't. The first Master Grade I ever built was a Crossbone Gundam, but that Master Grade sucked ass. When I moved for the first time, it like trying to repose it was so difficult because it held its own weight so poorly that I just threw it in the garbage. I was tired of it. Is there a Gundam cinematic universe? Yes, it's called the Gundam Universal Century. There are basically there's two different kinds of Gundam anime. There's Gundam anime that are inside the Universal Century, and there are Gundam that are outside of the Universal Century, which is sorted into UC. So like Iron Blooded Orphans, which is a pretty popular Gundam anime, is outside of the Universal Century. But like MS-08, another really popular one, is inside the Universal Century. So you'd have to watch previous Gundam anime to understand MS-08 because it references a lot of stuff that happened in those other anime because they're contained in the same universe. This one, I don't remember the name of. He's got a big fuck off sword and he can't contain the weight of it. I have it like propped up against his knee so that it can carry it because otherwise it just kind of falls down. I don't like this one. It's got interesting design, but I fucking hate it, so I'm getting rid of it. His sword like folds in half though, for some reason. Gurren Lagann. I adore this kit. There was no, like, for how popular Gurren Lagann is, there was no, like, solid Gurren Lagann model kits until, like, the past year. This one came out, like, last year, and then the Zengan came out earlier this year. I have the Zengan, but I haven't built it yet. And I love it. They captured, like, what it should look like so well. It looks so good. I'm obviously keeping this motherfucker. But unlike all the ones, like, every kit I've shown you today was a Bandai model kit. This one is not. This one's made by Pliobot. But I feel like Bandai kind of missed out not getting to do Gurren Lagann kits because they sold out like instantly. I was lucky to get one. It's also a really solid kit. Like I was worried since it wasn't Bandai and I never built non-Bandai kits, I was worried that it wouldn't be that great, but it's really solid. Oh god, his joints are kind of stiff though. I'll give you that. I think like sometimes they stiffen up over time if you don't like move them at all for a while. I think that's what happened here. His wings here are going to be a pain to package up. They stick out really far, but do you know about Voltes V? And if so, is that part of the universe? I don't know about that one. But you can look it up. Like it'll if you look on like the Wikipedia, it'll tell you whether or not it's part of the Universal Century. It's also like you can tell it's not Bandai because they just put these fucking sharp protruding points on here that will like legitimately stab and hurt you. You wouldn't see that on a Bandai kit. They would give them more rounded edges so it can't hurt you. There's a wiki for everything, Scorpion. What are you talking about? Let's look it up right now while I'm sitting here. Gundam Voltes V. All right, where's the anime? We just look up Universal. I don't see anything about the Universal Century in here, so I imagine it's not part of the Universal Century. All right, I'm packing up these wings separately from Gurren Lagann itself because it's just going to break everything else. Just going to stab every other Gundam. I'm not careful. I can fit a few more. If I get really stingy with these last few, I could probably fit everything into one box, which would definitely be ideal, but it'll be tight. I don't think I'm going to try. Let's start with the ones I definitely want to keep. All right, so this was a Trans Am Exia. Trans Am is like a power-up in the anime. I don't know what the hell it does, but it turned the kit pink. So this is a common pink. This is a common model. There's several different model kits of this guy called Exia. There's like a million Exia kits. But this one's pink. And that means it's cooler, so I'm keeping it. There's a few other Trans Am kits, but I haven't built any of them yet. So I only have this one right now. Okay, we'll mix it up. I said let's go with the ones I definitely want to keep, but how about we go with one I definitely don't want to keep? I don't remember what this fucking thing is called. I don't like the design of it. It's a pain in the ass to pose because it's so like bulky, it barely moves. It tries to fall over constantly. I hate it. I hate this kit so much. I'm getting rid of it. I don't remember the name of this one, but it's an Astray, like a lot of other Strays that I have. And he has a giant fucking sword. This thing was a blast to build. I love the color scheme on it. It looks great. And he's a big fuck-off sword. You're going to tell me I'm not going to keep a Gundam with a big fuck-off sword? I'm keeping it. His hands are already trying to disconnect from the weapon, so that's perfect. Come on, get out of there. All right. Fuck off sword disconnected. The sword is actually so large that I have a separate piece here that is specifically for holding it up. Yeah, in terms of a stray design, there's so many different Astrays out there that like people complain about how many Astrays get made and how often it gets recycled in the anime. So in terms of Astray designs, like a lot of them are very common in like how they're built, and like the pieces that are used are pretty similar in nature. So I try to stick to Astrays that have some kind of unique thing, like the No Name Astray or the Sengoku Astray or this one with its big fuck off sword. I don't have a normal Astray in my collection at all. But I'm in the process of building a red frame Astray, which is basically the most basic version, but it's a perfect grade. And for anyone who hasn't heard me talk about Gundam before, there are different grades. All right, so this one's a high grade. It's about the size of your hand. The master grades are about this tall, they're like a foot tall. Perfect grades are like this tall. They're fucking-gantic, and they cost a ton of money. My perfect grade red frame Astray Gundam Cost me over $300. Now, the other thing you need to know about them is that they're much more complex than your average Gundam. A high-grade Gundam takes somewhere between 2 to 6 hours, depending on complexity to build. A master grade, you're looking at something like 10 hours to 20 hours. Again, it depends on the complexity. For this perfect grade Red Frame Astray, it took me 15 hours to build one leg. So I haven't finished building that. I have done it very slowly, but it has taken me more than like 24 hours and I'm not even done yet. It's just that much higher in complexity compared to a regular Gundam. Like, it's so big that like every little detail is included and movable. That's the kind of situation we're talking about. I tried to like squish it down a little bit, but I gotta be careful because if I squish it down too much, stuff's gonna start to break. And we don't want that. All right. To be completely honest with you, I am not that fond of this kit. But I'm going to keep it because it was a nightmare to build. So this is a Unicorn Gundam. There are two different modes for this Gundam, right? There's a mode where you can see all these red plastic parts sticking out, and there's a mode where you can't. What that means is that for this kit, every single one of these white panels is a movable piece. And it can transform so that the red parts aren't showing. It was a nightmare to build because there's so many of these little pieces that can all move in some way to like attach. So the only reason I'm keeping this motherfucker is because I don't want to rebuild it. It was such a nightmare to build that I'll keep it for that reason alone. Actually, you know what? I'm changing my mind. I'm not that fond of this thing, so I just won't rebuild it. It's a pain in the ass to build. It's not that interesting looking. I'm throwing it away. I changed my mind. Fucking try and stop me. All right, these ones aren't Gundam. These ones... Hang on, my phone made a noise. It's not an important noise. All right. These ones are not Gundam. These ones are model ships based on the ships from One Piece, which, as many of you will know, is like my favorite thing ever made. These are really fun to build and not that hard to come by, so I'm torn between keeping them and throwing them away. Actually, I don't know how hard they are to come by right now. So let me just look up. Let me find out. Big Mom ship model kit. Wow, that is really expensive. Wow, yeah, they're really expensive. These aren't as easy to come by as they were before. At least not this model. This one's not a bad price. Now, this model of the Thousand Sunny in particular might be hard to come by because if I remember correctly, this was an anniversary version. You can see like it's shiny in spots. The version that you can find on like Amazon does not have like the goldish color in different spots. But at the same time, I don't really like that about it. I think it's kind of tacky looking. So I think here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking maybe we get rid of this guy, but we keep the Big Mom one. Oh, wait. Sold out. Never mind. Okay, so this one appears to be not this one. The Big Mom ship appears to be pretty hard to come by. While But I love them both. I'm not getting rid of them. I like them a lot. They're special to me. They are so fun to build too. I need to buy the rest of the collection so I can have all of them because I'm a big One Piece boy, but also just because they're really fun to build. They're super simple. A lot of it is stickers. But they're so cute. I want to keep these. They're not easy to package up though. Okay, I should split this in half. See, the sail just came off by accident, so that's not great. Come here, you motherfucker. How did you go on here? Does it matter which side is up? Doesn't appear to. All right, great. I think we're just going to kind of lie it down on the paper and like not fold it too tightly because I don't want stuff to break off. Okay, yeah, that worked well. I got a little package here. Looks like it's full of drugs. Yeah, there's a Twitch for Bob Ross where they just replay his show like 24 hours a day. That's the entire channel. I imagine whoever decided to do it is making bank off of it, though, with how much of a meme that guy is. Or how beloved he is, I should say. All right. I actually don't know if this will fit in the box, but I'm definitely keeping it. This is like a super goofy Gundam. It's also One Piece based off of the character Tony Chopper. It's 5 different kits that all made different things combined together to just make a giant fucking chopper kit. And I adore it. I adore it. I'm not getting rid of this thing. There's actually another one that builds a different version of this that I need to like get and make, but who knows when that will happen. It's so cute. It's adorable. His antlers are cannons. But I'm keeping this one for sure. I don't know if I can fit him in the box, so it's going to be tight. ASMR Mac wraps up a Gundam while trying to leave Michigan. Okay, it fit in the box. All right, so at that point, I think I've fit everything into that box that I can, and I think I'm just going to make the executive decision to throw out the rest. Scorpion, you missed me talking about my giant chopper Gundam and my One Piece ships, but that's okay. I think like in order to keep it so I don't have to make more than one box, I'm just going to toss the rest. So I'll show them off and talk about them, but I'm going to get rid of them whether I like it or not. So this one is a Moon Gundam. I actually really like this one, and I probably would have kept it if I had gotten to it earlier. You can see like this back paneling thing here, like makes like a moon crescent shape. Really fun build, really decent kit. Throwing it away, I guess. R.I.P. I'm actually sad I have to get rid of this one, so I don't, just because I ran out of space here. This one's from Gundam Thunderbolt. I think this is the Thunderbolt Gundam, but I don't really remember. I really like the design of this thing. It was a really fun build too. One of the earlier Gundam that I built. I'm gonna miss this one, but I don't have any more space left in the box, so fuck it. I don't remember what the name of this one is at all, but it is very cool. It's got a very unique design. This one's an Iron-Blooded Orphans for sure. It also has a big fuck-off sword, but unlike other big fuck-off sword kits, it actually can hold the weight of it, which is impressive. And I think it's because this thing's like hollow. It's like super light compared to how big it is. So that's awesome, but unfortunately we have to toss it. So say goodbye. I need sleep. You have a good one, man. Hope to see you soon. Hope to see you soon too. I'm not going to be streaming much over the next couple weeks because I'm moving across the country. But when I am streaming, I stream pretty regularly. So I hope you'll join us when I am able to get back to doing it full force. See you again. All right, I remember the name of this one. I don't really care that much about it. It's an okay design. It's got a decent color scheme, but I guess it's getting fucked off. This one, I hate. It has a really unique design, but like it cannot carry its own weight. So much so that, as you can tell, I don't even have it posed. It fell over for like the 90th time a while ago, and I just fucking gave up. It can't even like hold these swords properly. Like, you know, they're curved, but if you like lift them up, they just kind of like flip over slowly because their own weight can't be held by the Gundam. So this thing just sucks. I'm getting rid of it. Not sad about that one. Not at all. I think I'm going to try to fit this one. I forgot I still had this one not packed up yet. This thing has such a unique design. It's so cool looking. It's so weird, so like alien looking. I really like it. And I don't really want to have to rebuild this one or repurchase it or whatever, so. It's also really large. It's nearly the size of a master grade, but it's a high grade. And there are master grade versions of this, so I can't imagine how large those are. But we're gonna try to make this one fit because I would really like for it. I would really like to take it. This will be like if this fits, there's absolutely nothing else that's going in this box. This will definitely be like it. Let's try this. Ah, I got it. Okay. All right. That was actually much easier than I thought. All right. That's the last thing that's going in that box. So that's it. Everything else is... There's only 2 things left. And I am going to be sad to see them go, but it is what it is. I'm glad I got to keep that one. All right. The last ones that I have are not Gundam at all, though they are made by Bandai. They are Goku and Vegeta from Dragon Ball. And I really like these kits. They're really solid. They were really fun to build. They actually look really great. And I'm a fan of the Super Saiyan Blue hair. But I'm not as into Dragon Ball as I once was, so it's not the end of the world to see me say goodbye to these. But that's it. That's all of them. All right, is there anything else I'm forgetting? Let me go check. Nope, I didn't put anything anywhere else. That's all of my Gundam. They are all have been shown or thrown away. And now I'm going to box up this box. It is bulging out a little bit. I maybe packed this a bit hard. All right, I put an extra layer of tape so it won't like open up mid-transit, but there we go. That's my Gundam pack. That was actually like the most time-consuming part of my moving that I had left, and it only took an hour. It only took 2 hours, which actually is surprising to me. I thought it was going to take much longer than that, but there we go. Where's my Sharpie? Let me write Gundam on here. All right, stack this up. Oh, it's so light. It's so light. That's not surprising, I guess, but it is so fucking light. How are you going to get your stuff across the country? So I was actually about to talk about that. I want to give an update on how the move is going and why I haven't been able to stream over the past couple days. I was going to use a U-Haul, but I'm no longer going to do that. I'm using one of those services where they like give you a trailer, you fill it up, and they move it across the country for you, because for the service that I'm using, it's called U-Pack. It was only $100 more than U-Haul, and the difference is I don't have to pay for gas to get across the country. Like the amount they're charging me is the amount that I'm paying. There's no extra fees. So I'm only paying $100 more than I would for the U-Haul, and I don't have to pay for gas and all that. So the U-Haul would have ended up being much more expensive. So, but because of that, the trailer needs 8 to 10 days to get to Oregon. I only need 4 days to get to Oregon, which means I need to load up the truck in 4 days on the 20th. So that's why I haven't been able to stream over the past week, because I've just been nonstop working on packing and moving stuff, trying to get everything ready. After that day, and there's no guarantees right now, but what I'm going to try to do is put my computer in my car and travel it with me. I don't like the idea of putting it in a trailer and not seeing it for a week and some change. So I'm going to try to have it travel with me. And so if that's the case, if it ends up being that I'm able to put my computer in my car and move it with me, then once the trailer leaves on the 21st, there won't be too much else that I need to do before I leave on the 25th. And so between the 21st and 25th, I can just stream. But I don't know if I'll be able to stream before then, because I still have a bunch of stuff to do. So it may be a little while before I'm able to stream again. But this was a live stream, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I packed off and show off my Gundam, and I've got a whole bag now of Gundam that I'm going to go throw away. And it's very sad to hear all that plastic that I built by hand over hours just go in the trash. But I'm saving myself a lot of trouble by not bringing them with me. So it is what it is. But the move is fast approaching. We're almost there. We are almost there. I am almost ready to move. I have my apartment all ready to go. So as soon as as soon as my stuff gets there, I should be able to get all set up and start streaming once again like normal. But, we'll see what happens. So thanks for hanging out, guys. I will see you next time, whenever that next time may be. Maybe it'll be in a couple days. Maybe it'll be in a week. Maybe it won't be until I'm in Oregon. I can't make any promises because everything's still kind of in flux, so to speak. But thank you for joining me. I appreciate it and hope all of you have a great night. I'm going to go find something to eat because I'm quite hungry. Bye-bye.